الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر.
We don't get the respect we deserve.
They think we're stupid.
Nothing is available here.
Taunt us all day long.
And they like everyone to be just like them.
Skateboarding is my life. My name is Omar Hirawi.
I'm Sharif Hirawi.
From Alexandria, Egypt. September 2005, we started a website called Skate Impact.
Day breaks at a pace that makes the face ache, and just for his faith's sake, he tries to stay calm. He looks down at young man's hands and his arms and remembers a time they seemed so much smaller. Outside is grey, and as the rain beats a rhythm on the window pane, inside feels just the same. He remembers the game he used to play at home on his own, racing the raindrops to the edge of the glass. Back then, he only had to ask any questions. There was always someone inside who seemed to have the answers.
The first time I saw a skateboard and someone skateboarding was on TV, on a music channel, and I wanted to skate when I saw that on TV. I bought a fake skateboard from a toy shop from Alexandria. These boards were not really good for skateboarding at all. The deck was made out of very bad quality wood, so it breaks easily. Didn't have concave, so it was hard for us to do tricks. To do a kickflip, you need a concave. By the late 90s, I bought my first good skateboard from France. And in 1999, it was the first time for me to find a magazine, skateboarding magazine. It was the first time for me to see real skateboarding companies, Dark Star, Shorties. I remember Shorties was so big at that time, and Chad Muska was so famous and big. Now I have no idea where is he. At that time, it was me and my brother skating together. We didn't know that other skaters existed in Egypt.
In 1992, I saw my brother skating with fake boards. Of course, I asked for one too. We're just finding out what skateboarding is like. It's always fascinating to be on wheels. You know, it's something when you see a little kid looking at you on your board, he's like, I want to do that. I want to be on this board too. It's fun. Being in Egypt, no one around skating. You couldn't find a role model. You couldn't find even someone you can watch and say, that's a trick I want to do. You know that there's something called an ollie to jump with the board, but you have to see it for yourself.
I remember at that time we didn't have much resources on the internet. Videos showing how to do a trick didn't exist at that time, so we had to read and find out how we can do the trick. It was very hard. And the connection was only dial-up. Remember these days, huh? So it was hard for us to see how the trick is done. So me and my brother thought that we should start searching for the other skaters, and we searched online.
All we needed is I needed a community to fit in. I kept looking around on the internet, searching everywhere, searching skateboarding in Egypt, searching skaters in Egypt, searching all the possible keywords.
We found a couple of skaters using an online messenger.
I found a Malaysian skater. He's called Taqiyuddin, so we call him Taqiyu. The good thing is that in his posts on this website, he actually put his mobile number. This was really cool that I could actually send him a text message and I got a reply. Early in the morning at 7 a.m., I got a call from someone saying, hey, you're Sharif? I said, yeah. And he said, I'm a skater. You sent me a message and let's meet up and skate. I was like, oh. We can actually skate. There's someone we can skate with, not only skate by yourself.
Me and my brother used to travel a lot to Cairo to make sessions, to make footages and take pictures.
In 2004, I managed to get a video camera from the States. We wanted to film our stuff.
And we used to make some videos called Video for Fun, just to show the other skaters that where we are skating, how skateboarding in Egypt is, where are the spots. And it was really nice. I remember some kids recognizing us in the street. They knew us, but we didn't know them. They were saying, oh, guys, I saw you on YouTube. You were guys skating, so nice. We want to start skateboarding. Okay, you want to start skateboarding? But we don't have boards here. We thought that we should start a message board so we can make it easier for the other skaters that we never met and we didn't know to find us. And a lot of people started entering into the forum, and we started talking about spots where we can go to skate, and if a friend finds a new spot, we go there and skate it and try it out. But we had a problem. We always break our boards, and we had to wait for a long time to get another board through a friend of ours or a relative coming from abroad.
By that time, no skateboarding equipment was in Alexandria or in all of Egypt. I asked Cairo skaters where do you get their stuff. They have relatives abroad, or when they travel, they get their boards. You would wait 2 months minimum to get a board if you break your board.
Egypt's where I started skating, like that's where I learned how to skate. The skaters I knew were expats, and their parents either worked for the US government or they worked for General Dynamics or General Electric. So they had a way to get stuff shipped out. Like we had an APO address, so you could go look on the back of Thrasher or Transworld and be like, oh look, Eastern Skate Supply. Wow, I really want that board. They send the APO addresses, and you would go home, convince your parents, like, let me get this board, and then you'd call them up. And then it would take anywhere from 3 to 6 months. And sometimes, I remember one time, we waited 5 or 6 months for a box to come out, and we got the box, but it had blown out on one side and there was nothing in there, it was empty. We were really resourceful with figuring out how to make our stuff last. Like shoes, for instance, if my friend was, I'm a goofy foot skater, so if my other friend was regular footed and he had a size 10 shoe and I had a size 10 shoe, once his ollie hole had broken through and once mine had broken through, we'd swap out shoes. That way I'd have a fresh ollie side. We got really good with using shoe goo, putting plastic on the inside of your shoe so it'd cover up the hole, and then you'd shoe goo the bottom of it. We would re-drill boards. Like the wheelbase, you'd get a brand new board, it would get chipped up super bad, and you just start drilling new truck holes. Wheelbase would keep getting shorter and shorter. It would start to look like a freestyle board. I remember getting a Ron Allen board, which was 32 inches long. I had it for 6 months, and I had re-drilled it 4 times, 2 times on the nose, moved the truck back twice, and then on the tail, moved the truck forward twice, because the tail and the nose had gotten chipped so much, and it ended up being a 28-inch long board. Wheelbases didn't matter to me back then because I was just beginning to skate. I didn't really understand what the difference was between a long wheelbase versus a short wheelbase, but I was just like, I just want to skate. So getting equipment was hard.
Like that, the scene would have never evolved or progressed, because we wait for a long time, and if someone lands a trick and breaks his board, he had to wait for a long time, and maybe he loses his trick. Skateboarding is about consistency, and you have to skate on a daily basis, or at least twice per week to keep your tricks fluent and consistent.
We had a small forum, online forum by that time, to gather the skaters, and some people were searching for skateboarding in Egypt by that time, and they find us and ask us, where do we get our stuff? And I say, we don't get it from here. You have to, you're on your own. You have to get it on yourself.
Before Skate Impact, I used the unoriginal boards wherever from any shop here. It really suck. I mean, you can't even pop.
Actually, I got a board by that time from my cousin in the States. He was coming. He brought it for me. And by that time, I thought, why not get some boards for the scene? I'm sure there are a lot of people who wants to start skating. We can sell it to them for no profit. Just give the boards to them.
So at that time, I was in college in 2004, and it was my last year. I was in the Faculty of Engineering, but I never liked Faculty of Engineering. I didn't like being an engineer. I wanted to be a skater and to keep skating and spend time in something that I really love and I have the passion for.
We were planning by that time to, should we open a shop? Should we start with a skate park, or should we sell online?
If we start a skate shop, we wouldn't be able to to service the other skaters living in Cairo and Hurghada or other places, because we are from Alexandria. So the idea of starting an online skate shop was a good one.
My father is an entrepreneur. He always helps new ideas. He said, okay, this is your project, this is your business. I'm going to finance you in the beginning. You do what you want.
At first we started contacting companies. Not all of them were replying. Most of them, they were ignoring us. How is your scene in Egypt? How many skaters do you have? At that time we were like 25 skaters. But one of the companies, Dwindle Distribution, when we contacted them, they were really thrilled to start pushing the scene forward in Egypt.
Dwindle Distribution was the most helpful one, offering from the beginning no minimum orders. We just want to help you guys. They kind of like, they're open-minded. They could see that there's something going on over there. The big day came. We actually received the first order of skateboarding, real skateboards, original ones, not the fake ones in toy shops. They arrived here. We were looking at these things, these wooden piece of magic that we couldn't find around here.
So by September 2005, we started the online skate shop. I'm more into the commercial part of the business, and my brother is into the technical side of the business. Sharif really developed the website totally alone. He's really talented.
I'm more into the technical part of Skate Impact than Omar. Omar more into the communication with the scene, and I'm behind the scenes most of the time, editing what we filmed, putting photos and material on the website, and actually building the website.
One day Omar and Sharif called me on the phone and said they started a new skateboarding business, which is skateimpact.com. So I just couldn't wait to get a new skateboard.
It was good. First order coming in, it's like, okay, we're pushing this forward. Yeah. Having customers of young age and them calling to ask for their orders and stuff, and figuring out how to order online. You know, because in Egypt, this was new, to make an e-commerce, something new in Egypt. One day we got a call from an 8-year-old kid. He was on our website. He was looking at a skateboard that he wants, and he's asking, how do I get the board? Should I print it? I have a printer, or should I open the CD drive to get it? How is it done? It was a good laughter, and then he figured it out.
Our main target is to spread the skateboarding culture in Egypt. In 2007, we released a DVD called First Impression, and we showed in the movie the Egyptian skateboarding scene.
We wanted to have something to give to people. They say, hey, watch this. This is skateboarding actually in Egypt. This is possible. This is something that Egyptians can do.
At that time, the level was not that good, but it was the beginning. It was the right move to show this new skaters that are starting skateboarding Those are your role models. I think having a role model and seeing an older skater is a good idea. I remember when I was a kid, I didn't have a role model. It was me and my brother.
These skaters, if they're not skating, they're young people, have a lot of energy and they can put it in the wrong direction.
Before skateboarding, I was like about 10. I used to go to the local club. I just called my friends like, hey, it's Thursday, let's go to the club and maybe get into some fights, because I used to be like addicted to wrestling. I used to love watching Rey Mysterio punching those guys in the ring. I wanted to be a wrestler actually.
Before skateboarding, it was I didn't have a life. I mean, nothing to do, you know.
If I didn't have skateboarding in my life, I'd probably be smoking shisha in a coffee shop, or smoking hash, maybe, or doing other sorts of drugs with bad people. So skateboarding is like, it's a lifesaver.
So we started a team together with Dwindle Distribution. We co-sponsored skaters from Alexandria and Cairo.
We fixed a team to be the role models for these kids. Skaters around are doing a good job. They're progressing. They're getting better and better.
أنا اسمي باسل عزت وأنا دلوقتي بقيت الأوبريشن مانجر بتاع سكيت إمباكت فبمعنى أنا مسؤول عن الأوردرز والكاستمر سيرفيس يعني سيلز وكاستمر سيرفيس. أنا عرفت سكيت إمباكت من عمر هراوي من حوالي 5 سنين. قبل ما ابتدي اسكيت كنت بسيرف. عرفت عمر من واحد صاحبي في المدرسة طول الوقت وسكيت معاه ومن وقتها عرفت السكيت بوردينج. ومن حوالي سنة ونص تقريبا سنتين بقيت بشتغل مع عمر في سكيت إمباكت. أنا شخصياً ما عرفتش سكيت بوردينج سين في اسكندرية بكل مشاكلها قبل ما أعرف عمر وابتدي أشتغل في سكيت إمباكت.
We lack spots in Egypt. Sometimes when we go to a spot, it's dirty or maybe the ledges are okay, but the floor itself not skatable.
I do remember every time we'd skate all day long after school or during summer, it'd be like skate the entire day. But at the end of the day or even mid-session, you'd be like patting down the grip tape on your board because if you didn't, the dust would accumulate over the week or couple weeks and you wouldn't have any grip. We just would always slap on it and clean it up, and it's a dusty place, man. It's in the middle of the desert. Like there's dust storms. I remember skating out there once and like, oh dang, dust storm coming in. Everyone, I'll see you later. We're gonna go home.
Architecture in Egypt is not helping skateboarding. Pavements around are not smooth. We have to keep looking and looking. This is something exciting too in skateboarding, that you can go around, find new spots, skate something different.
At the age of 13, we didn't have the internet. There was no Google. I wasn't like, oh, I'm moving to Egypt. What do they have there? So I'm like, yeah, there must not be anything to skate. And we get there, I'm like, oh, look, it's like a major metropolitan area in a developing country, but that doesn't mean anything because it's a huge city. There's roads and streets and highways everywhere. And that's all you really need for skateboarding. You just need asphalt or concrete and a place to roll. But no, that's the beauty of skating. It's a personal adventure, like you're doing it, it's you and the skateboard.
I had an exhibition 2 years ago in Zamalek. I had 6 months where I basically went around with many of the skaters. I just took my camera equipment everywhere. It's mostly about searching for spots. There's a contrast, it's pretty obvious, but it's a very good contrast, it's not a bad one. It's much more rugged, it's much more rough, it's much more challenging, but the results are usually much more better. Whenever I'd like to take photographs for skaters or places that are mainly unheard of, or just places that we just discover, like over here, for instance, you've got the skaters jumping off, ollieing on top of this football net. Just a very tiny spot, nobody heard of it, nobody skated it before, but we just went and did it. This was taken close to where I live. We just found this random sort of a bank 2 streets away from where I live. And that turned out to be another great photo. They're usually at random spots. There's still some that are taken at more common spots where all the skaters would go to. Show this photograph to any skater in Egypt and they'd know where it is exactly. This was taken at the airport. This is probably my favorite. Taken at the airport as well. It made this really perfect picture. The colors are great, I think. I wanted this photograph in particular to seem like he's gonna take time to figure out what's happening or where he's coming from.
I used to skate when I was really young. Skating in Egypt was really difficult because of the streets. If you guys had a look around the streets are completely screwed up. Even some, like, a person can't even bike here because it's so damn rough and so damn annoying. You can't even skate for a matter of, like, for a use of transportation because it's so bad, the streets, and their government. I'll blame it all on the goddamn government. The government is all to blame for this, to be honest.
The problem with skateboarding in Egypt is pretty much the spots. We don't have any good spots, just maybe 10 spots in both Alexandria and Cairo. We need a skate park.
Maybe we can find a good spot, but the security can kick us out.
It's rare to find a good skate spot in Egypt that you don't get kicked out from. If you find some good spot, there can be some security or police or a doorman who wants to kick you out. If you manage to sneak in and not do a big noise, you can stay in there for 15 minutes or something before you get kicked out. But sometimes you can find a solution for that.
Sometimes the money really speaks well and we can solve this problem.
I skate everywhere with friends in the streets, but we get kicked out too by security guards, but we had to bribe them to let us skate. It's the only way.
Sometimes 5 pounds fix the problem, sometimes 20, yeah, if we're lucky.
Once I was with the team in Cairo, and we wanted to go to a certain spot. I wanted to show them a spot that they never skated before, and we went together and we jumped over the fence and went to the spot. After skating a bit, a policeman came to us. He said, "What are you doing here? How did you enter here? It's forbidden. Get out of here." So I gave him money. And he replied, "Zahla kwayis." Literally in English would be like sleep well. And he left us.
We hear a lot from the doorman or security people saying mamnu'. It's like it's forbidden. Why? Why is it forbidden? We're in a public area and we're doing nothing wrong. We're just it's like we're hanging out. Of course we're skating. We're doing something different, but it shouldn't be forbidden.
They told us about stories about where the problems they have when they go skateboard in certain areas and how they're constantly being brushed away from every single neighborhood because people don't see this as anything. They don't see it as sports, they don't see it as art, they don't see it as anything classical or typical, but that's the whole point. It doesn't have to be something that you've seen before or worked with before.
Egyptians are too cliche. They love football and they don't give much space for any other new or even old sports. So it's kind of annoying to us because we don't get the respect we deserve because skateboarding in Egypt is underrated.
The older generations were looking at us from above, like they were criticizing us. They were thinking that what we are doing is not right, and we should do what they are doing.
I stopped skating because this country, when it comes to the society, the closed-minded society, really doesn't support skating. Nothing supports the extreme sports in this country at all. And people are obviously very ignorant about it.
Skating in the street, you sometimes see the people's look at you like you are playing in the street. Like they're making a comparison between you and these ghetto kids that play soccer and play football in the streets by night. Of course, we don't see it that way.
Usually when I'm in the street skating, the people look at me as if I'm doing something childish. And they ask me, "What are you doing? You're a big guy. Why are you using a piece of wood? And what are you doing?" And I always reply, "You won't understand what I feel when I'm on my board."
I can see it differently for girls. For a conservative culture, it's not easy to get them that mix of boys and girls. It's not really acceptable around. There's nothing wrong in girls skating. Since we have skater boys, why not have skater girls that are a role model for other girls?
My name is Hana Azmi. I am in the flow team of State Impact. I am the first Egyptian skater girl to be in a state team. There's not a lot of skater girls in Egypt because they are afraid of people, what they will think. And they are also afraid of getting injured because they don't want to look bad, to have a lot of bruises and things like that, because it doesn't look good. It's not like guys will be badass or anything.
It's difficult because I can't take my board and skateboard in the street by myself. First of all, it's dangerous because maybe someone will harass me or things like that. And because it's different in this country, so when people see skateboarders in general in the street, they look at us and they have a lot of questions, and especially when they see a girl, they find it really weird because it's different in their eyes.
The media started hearing about us and about skateboarding, and Ahmed Abdallah, a film director, was making a movie about graffiti and underground music scene, and then he heard about a skateboarding community that existed in Alexandria and in Cairo, and he said, I want to have them in our movie. So he contacted us, and he featured Yassine Qobtan as a featured character in the movie. He was acting with Khaled Abou Naga, famous Arab star. It was really nice to see the first movie, Arab Egyptian movie showed in the theaters featuring skateboarding.
I chose skateboarding basically because I wanted to have a film about self-expression and about our basic rights of choose the way of life we want to live. And for me, I found the whole community of skateboarders of Alexandria is very inspiring, and especially they have all ages, all generations, males and females, and for me that was very dynamic community. I never heard about this community before, and for me that was very fresh thing, and I just wanted to include them in my film.
Microphone is probably the most recent project that I can talk about. It's a film about the underground scene, art scene in the city of Alexandria, or let's say lifestyle scene in the city of Alexandria, because it's about graffiti artists, music bands, but also skateboarders community, and so it's pretty much about the freedom of having your own lifestyle and expressing yourself in the way you want. So Ahmed Abdallah in Microphone decided to have the skateboarding community as part of the story, as another way of making it clearer that the film is really about this. It's about your freedom of choice of any kind of a lifestyle or arts to express yourself. And you can express yourself through a lot of ways, not only art, skateboarding included. It's a movie that was shot just before the revolution, and it has a lot of the atmosphere and the socio-political feeling of what Egypt, well, Alexandria in this movie, as an example of Egypt, felt like for the youth of Egypt. Pretty much the same youth that started the revolution.
Generally, the skateboarders and the musicians were so against the ex-government and were a big part of the revolution, I must say.
We just can't be ruled by the military. I mean, we need, we need people to rule, not the military, because we've had Mubarak for 30 years now, and then the military wants to take over. We just can't.
How do I see skateboarding from here? How do I see Egypt from here? How do I see many things from here? I always say, we are entering a new age, not only in Egypt or the Middle East or the Arab world, but I believe in the whole world. There is almost an internal clock that tells people this is the time for change. In this new age, there's no one who's strong enough to take away your rights from you. And no one is weak enough to let go of his rights anymore. The power of the people is just about to challenge, or even stronger in some areas of the world, like the Arab world, to be stronger than the people in power. And I'm actually quoting Ghonaim from Google, who used that sentence: the power of the people is now stronger than the people in power. This is an age where people with a lifestyle can still have that lifestyle without having to be part of any mainstream green lighting it. This is an age where people actually found out that they can change things in a much stronger way than politicians. So there is a new age, and people are actually the most powerful force in it. And if that goes on, politicians are going to be less and less and less powerful. Skateboarders can be much more powerful.
مستقبلها زي مستقبل الدولة حسب الثورة. يعني حسب لو الثورة تمت وبقينا دولة ديمقراطية حرة، السكيت بوردينج هيبتدي ينتشر بصورة كبيرة قوي، علشان السكيت بوردينج هو مثال للحرية، أو الحرية مثال للسكيت بوردينج، الاتنين ماشيين مع بعض. سكيت بوردينج need freedom and freedom needs skateboarding.
This is the area surrounding Tiba Mall, and this is the area where this is the place where everything started. When we used to gather the skateboarders, we used to gather them here. We were about 35 skaters skating together, and the neighbors living near this place, they were bothered by us while skating. We didn't really care. I think that if Skate Impact didn't exist, I think the scene would have died. We gave them the hope to continue skating.
Without Skate Impact, I wouldn't have been skating today. I mean, you can't, it's the only skate shop here. I mean, without Skate Impact, there wouldn't be any skateboarding in Egypt.
I think Omar and Sharif have done a magnificent job about keeping skateboarding in Egypt and getting what every skater needs in order to start skating and learn new tricks and everything. Without them, I wouldn't have been a skater or anything now.
It was a major part Omar did because I am not Alexandrian. I'm from Cairo and I don't practice skateboarding. But for me, he just provides a lot of information, just like treasure of information, treasure of stories about young people. Kept introducing me to people all around Alexandria, practicing skateboarding from all generations, as I said. So for me, I felt like he is in control of everything. He's like, they consider him like the godfather of the skateboarding in Alexandria.
Omar and Sharif did something definitely that I was wishing for like ages and ages back then when I was skating. They built a society for skating, number one, where I don't have to go skate alone like a loser, you know. I can actually go out with my friends and skate. It was a good plan for people in general to be doing something and giving them an area, giving them a space, giving them the society to do something which they like to do or which they enjoy doing, which they're deprived of doing in general.
Omar and Sharif, when they started this Skate Impact business, they had started building the skateboarding scene in Egypt. Before Skate Impact, there was like 50 skaters all over Egypt. Now there are like 6,000 or 7,000 skaters all over Egypt. Not only in Alexandria and Cairo, it's just in other cities all over Egypt. That's cool.
In my mind, it's great because it's been there prior to the revolution. So for those guys to have the shop already established, allowing the kids there that want to skateboard a vehicle to interpret either Alexandria or Cairo or wherever they want to skate in a different fashion that's atypical to how people go about their daily lives in Egypt is great. So it's not like they were like, oh, look, revolution's happening. Let's bring in a Western idea like skateboarding and try to capitalize on that because like now here's our chance. They're not thinking like that. They're just like, I really love skateboarding, even though it came from California. It doesn't have to be viewed strictly as like a Western concept. It's just a way for kids to enjoy their lives. And in a way, that's what any skate shop is. It's like, here, these are these instruments to go out and do whatever you want to do. It's your choice whether you want to look like someone you see on TV who skateboards or just look like your normal self and just skateboard.
It's in our blood. And we want other kids to feel what we feel when we skate and to help them out to start doing something that we love to do and care about.
Whatever the time that I'm away from the board, I can feel skateboarding in my blood.
I hope Egyptians give skateboarding its full respect. Skateboarding is in my blood. It runs in our blood. It's a part of our lives now.
I hope people come to realize that skateboarding is not just a childish sport. I hope they finally figure out what skateboarding is and not just stare at it and taunt us all day long. It's a way of life. It's a lifestyle. It's not even a sport or a job. It's a lifestyle. It's a life changer. It's a lifesaver. And most importantly, it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, skateboarding in Egypt is gonna be huge.
What's that? Your stuff looks like a gun, and we are near the police station.
Should I be careful?
Yeah, you should be careful.
This morning I woke, restless and heady, with blood pulsing fierce in the vein. There's light on a line this morning, and maybe forever. I move with regard for the signs. You know I've searched my heart to prove there's better ways to push and pull. Hey, whatever gets you through these days. Somewhere to the east, the sun is stirring, starting to light up the sky. And I'm lying here reliving the last few days, 'cause I missed most of them the first time. You know I've searched my heart to prove there's better ways to push and pull. Hey, whatever gets you through these days. Did I disappoint you? Leave a bad taste in your mouth? I thought that we could, I thought that we would, I was mistaken. You know I've searched my heart to prove there's better ways to push and pull. Hey, whatever gets you through these days. You know I've searched my heart to prove there's better ways to push and pull. Hey, whatever gets you through these days.
This is a challenge. If you wanna cross the streets in Egypt, you know, it's like playing video games. You know, the signs in Egypt are just for suggestion.
Good, dude. It's all.
So, طب الحمد لله.